So let's say that we wanted to find out what is the height of the plants in Mr. Nass's garden. So if I came over here and I said, okay, so we've got our corn is about 2 inches tall. Got a tomato that's about 4 inches tall. Got a squash plant that's about 5 inches tall. Our biggest one right now are the peas. Peas are, what, about 30 inches tall? 20 inches on the onions. Potatoes are about 11 inches tall. So if I were to say, what are the heights in my garden? What are the heights of all the plants in my garden? Well, I could say all that. I could tell you every single plant that's there, but I could also do it a different way. So let's look at that. Right, so what are the plant heights of the plants in the garden? If I were to find the mean, what I do is I take all those heights. Let's say we've got corn was 2 inches plus, let's say we had 30 inches, we had some potatoes that were 20 plus 4 plus 5. Say we had 5 different plants. 2 plus 30 plus 20 plus 4 plus 5. We add them up and then we divide by the number of plants that we added. We're going to divide this by 5. 2 plus 30 is 32, plus 20 is 52, plus 4 is 56, plus 5 is 59. So we get 59 divided by 5 is the height of the plants that we just measured in the garden. What is 59 divided by 5? 5 goes into 55 11 times, so we get 11 and 4/5 of an inch. So almost a foot, 11 and 4/5 inches is the height of all the plants that we just measured in the garden. If we add them all up and then divide by the number of plants we added. So the average, or the arithmetic mean, the average of all those, the mean, is we add them up and divide. That's a number that we use all the time. You add and divide for the mean. All right, let's talk about the median. Hey diddle diddle, the median's the middle. So to find the median, I need to take all those numbers and arrange them from least to greatest. So I find the least number, we get a 2. And then the next smallest number is 4. Then comes 5. So I'm going to say 2, 4, 5. Then the next one is 20. And the next one is 30. So I put them all into order. And I find which one is the middle number. Well, there's 2 on the left side of 5 and 2 numbers on the right side of 5. So I know that 5 is the median, the middle number. That's another way to understand the plants in my garden. We've got 5 inches is kind of the middle number, the middle of all those plants that we measured. All right, so I realized that I showed you how to find the median with an odd number of numbers in the data set. But in this data set, we have an even number of numbers, which makes it a little bit more challenging. So let's do that together. So the first thing we have to do, obviously, when we're finding the median is to sort our numbers from least to greatest. So the least is going to be 1, because there's no negatives or zeros. So we have 2 1s, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 7, and then 2 8s. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So that means the median number is here between 3 and 4. So what number comes between 3 and 4? Well, I need to take the average of 3 and 4. Well, we can do that one of 2 ways. We can say between 3 and 4 is 3.5. Or I can add 3 and 4 together. 3 plus 4 is 7. And then divide by the number of numbers. So that's 2 numbers. Divide 7 by 2. And I get 3.5. So either way, my number is 3.5 for the median. When there are an even number of numbers, I need to go between the 2. The average of these 2 numbers. Check our work. And we've got it. Another important way to understand numbers is the range. If I were to say, what's the range of the plants in your garden right now? Well, we would say the smallest plant is my corn. It's 2 inches tall, and the biggest plant was the peas at 30 inches tall. So the range is going to be the difference between the smallest and the biggest number in my set of data. So in this context, I'm going to say the biggest one was 30, and the difference between 30 and the smallest one being 2 is what? Yeah, it's 28. So 28 is the difference between the biggest plant and the smallest plant. There's a 28-inch difference between those plants in my garden. Now in this data set, we have no mode. Let's do a different data set for our mode. Let's say I went into my neighbor's yard and I said, how many plants do you have in your yard? How many different kinds of plants? And I asked all my neighbors how many plants they had in their yard. And one said 3, and another said 5. We got 8, 3, 7, and 12. These are the answers that they gave me. Which one is the mode? Well, the mode is the one that we see the most. I have 2 neighbors that have said 3 was the number of plants they have. So the mode is going to be the one that we see the most.